Welcome to your Around the Peninsula. I'm Army Sergeant Alan Brutus. It's the little things in life that often make a big difference. Air Force Staff Sergeant Justin Wayne shows us a time when the little thing in life is a letter.
The Osan Middle School is holding a spelling bee to find out who the best speller is in the school. The competition is giving students a chance to compete against each other.
I'm surrounded by some of the smartest that this school has to offer, and this is the school that probably has the most intelligent population that I've ever been to. So, yeah, I'd say this was a challenge on its own. I was practically shaking. I knew I was just going to mess up some point.
Although Zachary thought he was going to mess up, he didn't, and ended up winning the spelling bee.
For most of my life, I've lived in the States, and now that I get to come over here in Korea, Asia, and then, you know, win a competition like this in front of some of the smartest people that I know, that's mind-blowing.
This was Zachary's first spelling bee competition that he has competed in. Air Force Staff Sergeant Justin Wayne, Osan Air Base, Korea.
25 students participated in the spelling bee at Osan Middle School. It's not every day that you see a battalion commander on his hands and knees crawling through the gravel. Katusa Corporal Chung Won Ho shows how leaders of the 41st Signal Battalion are leading from the front.
Today is the stress shoot competition event for the senior leaders in the 41st Signal Battalion.
The event consisted of a 3-mile rock march carrying a tow bar, evaluating casualties, requesting a 9-line medevac, and engaging the enemy after high crawls.
I thought we had a great time. It was a great team-building event. Got us to do something physically active that's relevant to our overall mission. I think it helps to step out of your office job because you can then go back and feel a little bit more gung-ho.
7-5. The significance of this training is we're trying to test the senior leaders' ability to fight tonight under a stressful condition through simulated combat environment.
Get the LZ, they're going to take you out of here. Don't you worry.
I'm really proud of them. Company chain of commands that are out here pushing themselves. We as leaders expect our junior NCOs and soldiers to push hard. Here it is we're trying to lead by example by doing this event ourselves first.
Katusa Corporal Chung Won Ho, Camp Casey, Korea.
The events were timed and the participants competed to see who could complete the lanes the fastest. Beckmoon Girls High School students took a field trip that teaches them much more than they can learn in a classroom. Katusa Corporal Chae Min-young tells us more.
The demilitarized zone and joint security area are a must-see for foreigners. But how familiar are Korean students with these historic places?
The Korean education system is very good, but it's not very focused on history. We give them a little history class in the morning. We tell them about the Korean War and the period since then, the North Korean threat, and then we explain the role of the United Nations Command, the ROK U.S. Combined Forces Command, and U.S. Forces Korea before we come up to the DMZ.
The tour is an eye-opening experience for the students and at the same time helps them prepare for college essays on the theme.
Our school has been participating in this program for a couple of years. When we have class discussions or essays about the topic, they can better discuss the role of the U.S. Army and how they support our country.
I knew the fact that the U.S. Army was stationed here, but I didn't know why they were here and what exactly was their role in the North-South Korean relationship. And today, by coming here, I have a better understanding of how the U.S. Army supports in keeping our country safe. Also, experiencing the tunnel and the DMZ were both fun, but visiting the JSA was the one that was most exciting experience.
Katusa Corporal Chae Min-young, Joint Security Area, Korea.
The program started in 2006, and this year, 5,000 students are expected to participate. It's not easy taking a test, especially when you're not currently a student. Army Sergeant Tan Pham shows us a group of soldiers who are prepared with all the answers.
Begin. We're used to seeing soldiers being trained and tested physically, but for the Knowledge Bowl at the Camp Red Cloud Theater, it's all about the power of the mind.
I really enjoy doing things like this because it gives you further knowledge on things that you've never experienced or you never encountered because it's history of our past. It's educational, and being quizzed on it is another thing because it challenges you to understand the actual material.
Specialist Brittany Gardner and her team lost the last Knowledge Bowl by just 10 points. But this time, They came back with a vengeance, beating the next closest team by 275 points.
This time we brought our A game out. We actually got the material ahead of time. We studied, we got hot on it. Took a lot of our personal time actually to devote our time to actually studying this material so we can come back and we take this one.
The teams were tested on equal opportunity subjects, focusing on the history of Asian and Pacific Islander heritage. And securing the win meant a lot to the team.
We're such a small company, even within our battalion, we're really small. So it's a big accomplishment for us as a company.
Winner, which was 5-5 Duke.
Army Sergeant Ton Pham, Camp Red Cloud, Korea.
All the ones that's on your team.
Oh, they came back with a vengeance this time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Got that win.
Contact your local equal opportunity representative to check for upcoming events like this at your installation. For many people, jiu-jitsu is not only a means to stay fit, but also a way of life. Army Sergeant Timothy Villarreal tells us more about this growing trend in Osan.
On your typical evening, the sound of Hawaiian reggae music can be heard over the stale scent of sweat and determination.
Jiu-jitsu, there's really no age limit, there's no weight limit. Anyone can start. You can start from a little kid to all the way to your senior citizen. There's really no ending part for jiu-jitsu. It's just constantly going. It's just the hardest part is just starting the journey.
Back to the shoulder. Your elbow should be pretty much pointing straight down the chest. Good to go? Questions?
You know, there's no losing in jiu-jitsu. It's you win or learn, and there's a lot of us that learned some lessons. I just fell in love with it 2 years ago. I started out and I took my first class and just got straight hooked. It's like you learn these techniques and it just opens up your mind. At first in the beginning it's rough, you don't understand it. It's like learning a different language. And then once you start picking it up, it opens your mind to like, wow, I can actually do this now. And then also like seeing these smaller guys just, you know, rolling with the bigger guys and taking it to them, it's just pretty amazing how the techniques and all the balance and the skills that come with jiu-jitsu and the lifestyle, that's what pretty much got me into jiu-jitsu. It's definitely a good workout. I mean, you don't have to be in shape to start jiu-jitsu, but believe me, if you continue to do jiu-jitsu, you're going to be in incredible shape, especially if you want to learn self-defense or if you're looking for a hobby to do. It's something great to get into.
So for those of you around the Wolfpack that are looking for that one thing that gets your blood pumping and takes your adrenaline to an all-time high, check out Team Kunsan Viator Jiu-Jitsu. Army Sergeant Timothy Villarreal, Kunsan Air Base, Korea.
Visit your local fitness center for more information on jiu-jitsu classes. Commander Naval Forces Korea is used to having distinguished visitors. Petty Officer Chris Church explains how this one is a little different.
U.S. Navy Korea, attention on deck.
Chief of Naval Operations Admiral Jonathan Greenert has taken time to reach out to sailors serving in the Republic of Korea. While on a trip through the Asia-Pacific region, the CNO stopped by to meet with the ROK CNO, Admiral Hwang Gi-chul, speak at the ROK Navy War College, and visit U.S. sailors serving in Korea.
The reason Darlene and I are here is we kind of want to listen and learn about how are things over here in Korea.
Admiral Greenert discussed the future of naval operations in the Pacific.
Probably the most important part is about understanding, and that's relationships. That's re-engaging and assuring our allies, look, we're going to be there for you. Checking our exercises and making sure that they're sophisticated enough and frequent enough.
And also took time to answer any of the sailors' questions.
With the economy improving and more lucrative positions emerging in the private sector, what is the Navy doing to retain well-qualified personnel among its ranks?
The CNO highlighted his visit by acknowledging the hard work of all sailors in Korea and even frocking several sailors from Commander Naval Forces Korea.
Okay, how about a hand for our frockies?
Petty Officer Chris Church,
U.S. Navy Korea, attention on deck.
Seoul, Korea.
Admiral Greenert's visit to Korea is part of a week-long trip to Japan and Korea. That was your Around the Peninsula for Thursday, June 5th. To see these stories and others, go to the AFN Pacific website or view them through the AFN Pacific app. From all of us at AFN, enjoy your evening.